But the big story to cover is something that could potentially impact a lot of people in Western New York. The strike that started just a few hours ago at Mercy Hospital and a tense morning on the picket line. That was video from outside Mercy Hospital as picketers shouted at replacement workers showing up for work this morning. More than 2,000 workers, registered nurses, and other staff of the CWA 1199 walked off the job over a contract dispute with Catholic Health. Now, both sides of that disagreement had plenty to say today after 2.5 weeks of negotiations, and we will hear from both of them this midday. But we start with the union side of things. Karis Belger, who is outside the hospital in South Buffalo, where the strikers have been on the picket line since before 6 this morning. Good morning, Karis.
Now, good morning, Pete. I don't know if you can hear around me the car horns going off. That sound has been going on all morning as hospital workers were striking outside of Mercy Hospital this morning, and they were here long before the 6 a.m. official start time for the march. They've been marching around the building since the early hours. CWA union reps and the workers they represent have been here, and actually as vans with replacement hospital staff were pulling up, they were yelling at those vans. We also learned from the CWA reps that negotiations essentially ended at around 3:30 this morning before they walked away. And I did speak with a nurse. She works at Mercy Hospital, and she explained that the working conditions and staffing ratios were a big factor here. She also said that a lot of what she experienced while working is part of the reason why she is picketing right now.
Equipment is very hard to come by. Somebody to measure the oxygen level on a patient. You have to run from room to room to make sure you can find a pulse ox. Computers, difficult to get a hold of. They're always either broken down, so you can't communicate with other people in the hospital. Washcloths, people are cutting towels to turn them into washcloths to bathe patients. Bedpans, the list goes on. The morale is terrible. People are taking care of triple the amount of patients they should, and patients are suffering.
Another thing we heard from a lot of people was concerns about health care benefits, specifically the out-of-pocket costs. For the workers who make less than $16 an hour, CWA reps said they are willing to go back to the table and continue to negotiate, but the terms they were presented with were not in line with what they think is best for their members, and that is why they stopped negotiating this morning. And we also asked people who were out here, why do this in a pandemic when health care is such a high priority? And a lot of the nurses we spoke with said that they're doing this for their patients because the working conditions they've been under have made it nearly impossible for them to provide the level of care that their patients deserve. This is obviously a story we're going to be following for some time. I'm Karis Belger in South Buffalo. Back to you, Pete.
All right. Thank you very much, Karis.